Good evening, everyone. The news is changing by the hour, it seems, and forcing families in our region to ride an emotional roller coaster. The recent White House decision to interrupt research and scientist conferences at the National Institute of Health has families living with rare diseases angry and a little more than just concerned about the impact on vital clinical trials and ongoing research. Our story of one family's last 48 hours dealing with this news from WDAY News reporter Kevin Wallivan.
When we first met Jacob Gunvalson of rural Clearwater County in Minnesota, he was a teenager trying to stay alive. Jacob was born with muscular dystrophy. At the time, he had already lived beyond most estimates. One reason, a tenacious mother, Cheri, who fought to save her son by going to Capitol Hill and telling her story to U.S. senators and representatives. She also took on the pharmaceutical giants to get life-saving drugs for her son. Years later, Jacob is still alive, and his mom, she's still fighting, this time to save her son and others.
This affects every human being in the United States. I mean, everybody is touched by cancer, diseases.
This right here is for the medical journals. Jacob Gunvalson is 33 today. He was just a teenager when we met him more than 20 years ago. But not only has he lived longer than any doctor predicted, Jacob and his mother this week are on fire.
It's very, very, very troubling.
Because the White House has put restrictions on researchers at the National Institutes of Health, families that rely on clinical trials for diseases like Jacob's muscular dystrophy or cancer.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Gestapo. And that's what it feels like for parents and people affected by this. They don't seem to care that lives are at risk.
Are now left wondering what this pause will mean for them.
If these studies are interrupted like that, it affects the results, and they consider the results not to be valid.
Jacob and his mother Cheri are no strangers to taking on or working with politicians in D.C. to advocate change. And today's no different. With this story changing by the day, the Gunvalsons are hanging on during this wild roller coaster ride. That for some, like them, is a matter of living or not.
It's just very frustrating because to have politics get in the way of that is just very disrespectful to them in their time. They could have chosen to go for anything, but they chose to try to cure these diseases. It's just very disrespectful to them.
Jacob has watched his mother for 3 decades, travel the country, fighting to save him and to get more time.
It's just the way our family is. We care and love each other, and we're willing to fight for each other as well.
Kevin Wallivan, WDAY News.
At one point, even emails and Zoom meetings involving NIH scientists went black. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar this afternoon called the funding freeze, in her words, an